Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Tonight's topic is going to be, if you were there, you'd know. Think about that for a minute. Guys, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So if you were there, you'd know. That's something that you have heard throughout life, I'm sure. Example, there was an event and you couldn't go for some reason, you missed it. And then everyone was talking about the event and they would say, if you were there, you'd know. That kind of thing. So let's fast forward with that example, which is what the thumbnail mentions, in the narcissistic abusive cycle. If you were there, you'd know. That means for all the times you spent with the narcissist, again, maybe it's your coworker, boss, neighbor, family member, romantic interest, who knows, whoever it is, but if you actually were there in these moments of time of disbelief, when your head was spinning, of confusion, you would know. Why I'm saying that is because the narcissist, remember, they are like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They portray themselves to be one person to the general public, which is usually their A game face, which means they're one different person putting on the mask. And behind closed doors, that's when many times a lot of the abuse takes place. And again, if you were there, you'd know. So examples of this would be, you went to a party, you went to an event, a get-together for a holiday, and the narcissist, when you were getting ready, what did they do? They created an intentional argument or put you in a bad mood and just made the disruption of the event take place before you even got to the event. In other words, before you left the house, they created an argument, and then your head is spinning. You're like, what's going on? You get to the event, and then they are all happy and everything's great, and then people are looking at you like something's wrong with you. Well, if you were there, you'd know that ahead of time, before you went to the event, they completely blew up on you or had a rage fit or blame shifted you. In other words, they disrupted your evening. I mentioned that example yesterday. I mentioned it again because it happens so frequently. Another thing is how the narcissist plays the victim. Oh, I don't have much money. It's tough for me to get a job, or things are really hard these days. And oh, wow, you have so much money and you have so many resources. I sure could use some help. Things like that. I'm referring to financial abuse. When you hear this, many times, sure, the narcissist may or may not have a job. That's not the point. The point is they see what you have and they want it. And they are playing the victim card. And if you were there, you would know. In other words, many people ask themselves, how could I endure financial abuse? First of all, you were manipulated by a person who turned out to be a narcissist, and they are professionals with financial abuse, which means they believe that any money you have is theirs and their money is theirs, which means eventually you will have no money. That's exactly how they look at it. They act like they are entitled to virtually everything. And financial resources is certainly one of the things that they feel entitled to, specifically your financial resources. So another thing, you are, let's say, having dinner at a restaurant, and the narcissist pulls out one of their 3 cell phones right in front of you. And you're like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be just the two of us having a romantic dinner or a kind, intimate dinner. What's happening there? You are being invalidated. You are being replaced by one of the sources of supply that the narcissist is speaking to on their smartphone right in front of you. Again, if you were there, you would know. So for you to explain that to somebody like, yeah, I went out to this dinner and they completely ignored me. This person turned out to be the narcissist. Of course they did. Why? Because they're trying to devalue you. And most likely they already have your replacement lined up. That's another thing. During that dinner, like, who pulls out a smartphone? And who actually just completely ignores the person they're supposed to be having dinner with? You may say, well, a lot of people, Andrew. I don't necessarily agree with that. You see, people, maybe they use their smartphone to check on certain things for a period of time, but then usually they put it down and then they engage in conversation. At least that's my hope. But when you're completely being ignored at a dinner by someone who turns out to be the narcissist, and they have multiple phones, that's a huge red flag. But again, if you were there, you would know. Same thing when you are being triangulated by the narcissist. This happens so frequently, it's absolutely insidious how this happens, and it's really not a fun experience, let's put it that way. But the narcissist will try to insert another person in the relationship, mentioning, oh, so-and-so said I look great, so-and-so gave me a compliment, so-and-so, and that's meant for you to be doubting yourself. And so your head is spinning like, what are you talking about? I don't really get this. Like, I tell you look good every day, but now you're saying that this person from work is saying the same thing. Triangulation. They're trying to let you know that you're not living up to expectations. But again, if you were there, you would know. If you know what triangulation means, please drop comments below. It is the most disgusting thing these people do, and it's on purpose. Another thing, very simple example, is the front door opens. It's the narcissist. What kind of mood are they going to be in? Are you running around the house looking like you're busy? Because if you're sitting still, doing nothing, they will completely blow up your day. They will question your abilities to function. They'll question your abilities, what you accomplished that day. Why? Because remember, you are and or were nothing but an extension of the narcissist. And when that front door opened, you never knew what you were going to get. Were you going to get a kind, loving individual? Maybe. Were you going to get a rage fit? Possibly. Were you going to get the silent treatment? Many times. Were you going to have your whole presence, your energy, feel like you're walking around on eggshells? Absolutely, every single time. Why? Because you never knew who was going to open that front door. You knew the individual who would open the front door. You just didn't know which mask was going to be worn when the front door opened. Again, if you were there, you would know. This list goes on and on and on. The narcissistic behavior, it gets worse and worse over time. It does not improve. Hence the aging narcissist, which is another one. If you were there, you would know. Think about the narcissist. And let's say they are an aging narcissist. Have they improved? No, they've gotten worse over time because they believe that they're entitled. They believe that when they look in the mirror, the reflection that's coming back to them, it's not what they see. They see what is in their mind, perhaps a 20-year-old version of them. That's why many times the narcissist wears clothes of a younger generation. And that's exactly why the narcissist surrounds himself with little groups of people, little bubbles of people. Why? Because they know eventually every narcissistic relationship blows up. And eventually one of these bubbles of people is going to get the wisdom on the narcissist. They're not going to want to have anything to do with them. And the narcissist will have to remove themselves from that bubble and insert a new bubble. That's why they blow up every relationship, every business, every opportunity. That's why they have no long-term friends, etc. But then again, if you were there, you would know. If you were a flying monkey, without even you knowing you were a flying monkey, and you saw and or witnessed some strange behaviors by the narcissist, or if you saw them say A, B, and C to somebody and do X, Y, and Z the next day, meaning there's no consistency there, and they weren't accountable, you'd be like, yeah, I know that. I saw it. Because you were there and you do know. That's the whole point for this video. It's if you actually were there in the presence of the narcissist, you would know. You would know what happened. And when you get the wisdom on channels like mine and many others, and again, thank you very much for being here, and you put the pieces of your relationship together with the wisdom and the glossary of terms and definitions, that's when you get all these light bulb moments and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. There are hundreds of millions of people like me. Yes, there are. There are actually more. Because each and every day, as the narcissist blows up relationship A, they move to relationship B, C, D, E, F. It goes on like that. And you may say, well, Andrew, is there any ending in sight for the narcissistic abusive cycle? Education is the path, people. It's exactly what it is. That's why if you have gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle, you know now that this is your superpower and that you cannot see the world through the same set of eyes that you saw previously through, because you've gone through hell and back. And yes, you have. And you've had to pick yourself up by the bootstraps, dust yourself off, and understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. But having said all these things, if you were there, you'd know. Think about all the strange behaviors of the narcissist. Think about how unaccountable they are, how they can't introspect, they can't apologize, they can't say they're sorry, they can't admit they were wrong. They always have to be better. They always have to be in a competition. They always have to one-up people. They always have to paint a picture of false narrative and plant it so others believe it, when in fact it's not true. It's just a little pea-brain Hollywood script moving in their mind. That's what they do. And they fool people until when? Until they can't fool people any longer. So to go back to the answer to that question, yes, the awareness is happening. People are becoming educated and awakened, and people are understanding that their energy is the most important thing that they can do with their energy, is to place it in themselves, because where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And when you're in the narcissistic relationship, what were you doing? That's right, you were placing your attention and energy into the narcissistic relationship and the narcissist, to the betterment of them, to the detriment of you. Play that again. That's what you were doing. You just didn't know it. But now my hope is you have removed yourself from the toxic narcissistic relationship, or are looking to do so. You've deleted them, removed all flying monkeys and people associated with the narcissist, and you're living your best life. Of course, you're on the healing path, and the healing path is a daily path. We are all headed on the headed in the same direction, just taking different footsteps. That's exactly what we're doing. So for the newbies out there, perhaps this is your first video watching it, understand that you have work to do. You will get better. You will heal. It will take time, a lot of time, but in your time, you will heal. When you do the homework, when you practice all the education that you're receiving on my channel and many others, and when you understand that this was not your fault, you were manipulated. And for the veterans, my heart goes out to you. My hope is you're living your best life or are improving daily and making changes that benefit you and those loved and trusted ones around you. But if you were there, you know. And if you made it this far in the video, I know you know, because you're here. And that's a good thing. You're getting the wisdom. You're sharing it with others. You're helping enhance your life. And you're helping to grow, to learn, to grow, to teach if you can. That is the path. That's what we must do. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolina woods. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great evening. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand that you are the priority. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you. God bless you. Have a great evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Good night, you guys. And it's chilly. Bye.